I am Susan, an intuitive, a Reiki healer in general. My main guide is Archangel Metatron. If you're watching my video today, thank you. I'm trying something different. Yesterday was a day of self-care. None of my sessions wanted to schedule for that day. It just stayed open, so I was like, I'm going to use it. So I went to get Reiki for myself, and I talked to an astrologer just to see what's coming. And it was a really interesting day, just to take a day to focus on myself. It was really helpful, just in the midst of all of the chaos, to just take some time. But that's also led me to this today, because the guidance was let go of control. You don't need a list, you don't need to know what you're going to talk about. Let it go, just let it flow, let things come. Which I think I talked about in the video about my path getting to this point, that it was a path and you have to surrender, let go of control a little bit and let it go. So that's what I am doing today. So I don't know what I'm going to talk about. I guess letting go of control is a part of it. For a lot of us, we have wounding around control being taken from us, feeling out of control. There's a lot of things right now that we cannot control, that can create frustration, that can make us not feel safe, that can make us feel really restless, really frustrated, because I would have done it differently. Why is it not getting done? Why are these things not the way I want them to be? And in part, that's why I'm doing this work, because there are things we can control and things that we cannot. The meditation that I had shared about bringing in light. You're bringing in light into yourself, healing light around yourself, but also sharing it with the earth, doing energy work yourselves. We can all do this. Everybody has the ability to call in light, whether you know it or not, whether you remember it or not. We're so used to what our society tells us, what we've been programmed to think is possible, that it's hard sometimes to push yourself past that, to recognize that you have more power than you realize. And that, to me, is a big part of why I am doing these videos, to try and help you to understand your energy more, what might be impacting your energy, to help you strengthen and to clear your energy. But all of those things can help you to, if it's what you want, open up your abilities and your gifts. It can help you to be more in touch with how you feel, to recognize how your energy gets impacted by things. There might be people you come in contact with and they just make you uncomfortable. Things that people do that you have a really extreme reaction to. They're all energetic responses, ways that your energy is responding to something, and as you can recognize that, you can start to look a little bit deeper. You can look for a pattern. What else makes me feel this way? When else do I have this kind of response? And that can help you to move forward in different ways. Look at how you react each time that happens. Do you always respond the same way? How would you prefer to respond? Just being aware of changes in your energy can be really important in how you move yourself forward. Right now, I talked before about how we're all going through trauma right now. There's so much going on for us within our own lives and on a global scale, that it's a lot to process. It's a lot to take in, and our energy can get really overwhelmed. And if you're not looking at that, or you're not keeping your energy clear, you're not being aware of it, you can sink into a place where it just all feels too heavy, where it feels like you don't know what to do with yourself, you feel like you can't do anything. But if you can be aware of the things that you can change, the things that are within your control, you can come at these things differently. I created a grid yesterday, which I will share in the community section of this page, but it was about heart healing. And I think that's what a lot of us need right now, because there's so much, the chaos of the world around us is important for the earth to move forward. It's a purging, a clearing of things that have been accepted, things that are coming up to be cleared, things that are no longer right for us. But for them to be cleared, they have to come up to the surface. And when they do that, it will trigger wounds in all of us, but it will also trigger the clearing of collective wounds. You know, there's so many things in our societies that people have never faced, people have never healed. You know, the most recent things, you can think of the trauma we all went through with COVID. You know, however you experienced that is, you know, something that you went through, something that will have triggered wounds in you. And really, it didn't ever get addressed. We all just kind of moved on from it. And, you know, so now you have wounds from this, the division of society, the separation, to a certain extent, the hostility that was felt between people's energies. All of this stuff. I don't have my microphone on, so I hope the sound isn't bad. I'm going to fasten it on now. Just, you know, these things all impact our energies, and then when something else comes along that brings back a remembering of that, it triggers the wound all over again, so you have a bigger response to it. My cat is here, look. This one is Harley. She likes to be on camera. She likes to come hang out. She's a sweet little thing. So heart healing is important. Each of us is going through these times of clearing, these times of being triggered, being really having things brought forward for us to heal and to look at and to feel and experience. And the more we can let these things out, the more we can acknowledge them, the more we can move through them in a gentler way. If we keep resisting, if we keep pushing back, pretending they're not there, ignoring them. You know, an example of how we would do that is just being busy all the time, surrounding yourself with noise. You know, if the television is always on, you're on your phone, you're never giving yourself that quiet time to just be in your own energy, to feel in your own energy, to know how you are feeling, how you are reacting. Instead, you're kind of pushing it down and distracting yourself with something else. And the times we're in are about forcing us to look at things. If you don't look at it, we're going to push it at you harder. We're going to make you look at it in a different way, in a way that you cannot look away from. So really, the sooner we're willing to look at it, the gentler the path through these things is. When I built the heart healing grid yesterday, it was kind of sudden. I hadn't expected to build a grid. And just suddenly I had the urge. I knew what I needed to do. So I built the grid and I was confused. I was like, why are there 3 spheres in the center? It seemed odd. The rest of the grid was like 4, 4, 4. It was very balanced, and then 3 in the center. You know, the analytical part of my mind struggled with that. I really wanted everything to look balanced. And what Metatron had called it is a trine, which I was like, I know it's an astrological term, but I don't really know what that is. But of course, I finished this grid right before I talked to the astrologist. So I asked her about it, and she explained to me that a trine is 3 planets working together with the same energy to amplify each other, which makes a lot of sense. You know, the crystals in the center, it's rose quartz, aura rose quartz, and thulite. They're all pink heart energies, powerful healers, all about love, calling in love energies. But putting the 3 of them together amplifies that power, strengthens that power. So I thought it was interesting, though, that he gave me an astrological reference right as I talked to somebody who could explain that to me. And so, you know, again, things that are unpredictable, trusting what you're doing. Because there's a lot of times when we don't trust. You know, we question things because it's outside of what we expect it to be. It's outside of what we think it should be. For me, you know, this should be a pattern. It should look balanced. The grids, they're supposed to be balanced. Why is this different? And it created a little anxiety for me. And really, there didn't need to be anxiety. There's a reason for it. I just didn't understand it yet. Looking back, it makes perfect sense. You know, when we're working in Reiki, you say things 3 times. You draw the symbol 3 times.
when we close out a meditation, we'll repeat it 3 times. And so it is, and so it is, and so it is. The repetition is important. The duplicating of something amplifies it, gives it more intention. With grids, there's a lot of things like that. These grids are channeled. I don't know necessarily what they're going to be. I react to the energies that I'm given, the things that are talked about, the things that are coming to my mind. What do I need? And that represents what is brought forward. But I don't have to understand why it's a certain crystal. Why is it in this certain placement? Why are we using this sacred geometry for this grid? And it's like that with a lot of things in life. There might be things that you feel drawn to, but you don't understand why. Doesn't matter. Try it. You don't have to stick with something, but try it once. It might bring you somewhere you've never been before. It might show you something you didn't understand. It might be a part of something that you will understand later. Trust in how you feel, trust in your own energy, trust in, the guidance you're being given. How do things feel? Can change everything. If you come to these things and doubt and I can't possibly have heard that. I don't think I can do that. You're diminishing yourself. You're pulling yourself away from it. Because it might be something that's important. It's an opportunity you've been waiting for. It just didn't look how you expected it to look. So as you can be willing to just take that step, to do something that might feel uncomfortable, out of your comfort zone, kind of like going on YouTube and talking. It can be big things, small things. Jennifer and I coming together in this way started with a comment in a Facebook group. It could have played out any way. I could have been like, I'm not going to do that. But I kept feeling really strongly I should do this. And it seems like nothing. It's not something that you think, that's going to change my whole life. But it did. Not in that instant, but the connection that it put in place, the path that it opened up, changed everything. And there's so many parts of that sometimes the fear is just your energy recognizing the change that this can bring, the possibilities and the potential that are there, how things can come to be in your life. If you resist, if you're like, no, I'm not going to do that. If it's important, they'll still bring it back to you. It will come back in another way. They wouldn't let you miss an opportunity if it's something that is a part of your path. And then I wonder, how many other opportunities to connect with Jennifer did I miss before that one? How many times did I resist it? I don't know. I don't remember those things. What I remember is what changed after that day. The energies that came from that, the doors that opened. But just a lot of this is about trusting things, trusting what feels right to you. How does it feel in your energy? What is it that it makes you feel? Do you feel joyful with it? Do you feel excited for something? Those are the things, as much as I feel anxious and vulnerable talking this way, it makes me happy. I can feel the energies around it. It feels important. It feels like it has a purpose. There's so many of us right now that are on this path, more than there's ever been. And there's so much to come, so much purpose for each of us. And coming together and doing this, doing the work on our energy, recognizing our power, is going to bring us to a place that we didn't even think we would come to. You come to this life and you don't remember your past lifetimes. You don't remember all of these things. You have things that feel familiar to you, things that feel good, things that feel bad, things that you struggle with, wounds that you're looking at, people you gravitate towards. That's how you remember these things. And then you have to follow the breadcrumbs and you have to put the pieces together to remember who you are, to remember why you're here, to unlock all of the pieces of yourself that have been hidden away. And this, right now, the times that we're in are wild. There's so much that's happening, so much that we're experiencing. But it's a powerful time for doing this work. It's a powerful time to be doing healing on yourself. Everything is amplified. Everything is moving faster, more intensely. It's a lot for us to take. But again, it comes back to trust. Trusting ourselves. Letting ourselves know that we're safe in our own energy. That just because other people in our lives, the society around us might be doing something differently, that might not feel right to us. You know, if something else feels different, honor that. Respect how your own energy feels, how you respond to things, and follow that. Do the things that feed your soul, that nourish your soul, because that's how you're going to grow. That's how you're going to find your moments of peace. That's how you're going to find the pieces of yourself that you're looking for, how you're going to understand your soul, how you're going to find your path, find your people. And there might be times when you feel like nothing's moving, when you're kind of struggling and you don't know what comes next. Ask for help. No, free will is amazing, but it can also restrict us. If you are really searching for something, you feel like you really need help, we all have guides and angels that are working with us, but we also have free will. If we don't ask for help, they can't step forward in the same way. They can help us to find the things that are on our path, the things that are pre-agreed. But if you come here and you're like, oh, I need to know what are my next steps, ask them. Ask. And it might not come to you in the way you expect, but that's okay. No, I like to ask the stuff from a place of gratitude. However it feels right to you, do it that way. But gratitude is a high vibrational energy. And you're calling to you the things that feel right. You know, I ask Archangel Metatron, because he's my guide, if you have another angel, if you know, whoever it is that you speak to, ask them, thank you for showing me my next steps. You know, saying it like it's already happened, it's already done. Being clear about what you want and coming at it from a positive place. You're bringing it from a higher energy and you're being clear about what it is that you want, because what you're putting out is what you're calling in. So asking for what it is that you want is more powerful than coming at it from a place when you're like, oh, please don't do this, please don't do that, because then they're like, oh, what are we doing? Where are we going with this? If you're thank you for doing this, it's clear, it's open, and it can, you know, like I said, it may not come to you in the way that you expect. You know, somebody may show up in your life, an opportunity at work may come. You know, it may be more than one step. It might be one person leads you to another person, and then that opens up a door you didn't even know was coming. So just be open to how these things might come to you. It's funny, because before I sat down to do this video, I was a little anxious. You know, I was like, well, what is it you want me to talk about? What am I going to do? And I was looking for some reassurance, and one of the lights I had brought in had been outside in my workspace. And I sat down, I was a little anxious, and I glanced over, and on the light was a spider. Really freaked me out. It was like a white spider. Don't know if that's significant, but it really freaked me out, and I had to pick up the light, take it outside, and, you know, put the spider back where it came from. And I know from when I've seen them before, the spiders, they're you know, it's a positive sign. It's something, you know, that my guides know I will recognize. It's about positivity, abundance, growth. It's important things, and it's good validation that what I'm doing is what they want me to do. But it also distracted me, because all of a sudden I wasn't worried about this anymore. I was worried about the spider and trying to get that outside. So just how things come doesn't have to be how you expect it in a way that makes sense. No, they used a spider for me because I know what that is. I had to look it up before, so it's a quick reference point for me. But dude, if you see something that seems out of place, something that, you know, signs are not always feathers. Maybe you saw a ladybug, a rainbow, maybe something I don't know, something showed up while you were walking. Like by my house, you know, if I walk a certain way, there's a heart sprayed onto the ground. And it always makes me smile when I walk past it. You know, how these things come to you could be anything. I mean, you can ask for a sign too. Thank you for showing me a sign that you're with me. Be careful with that one. I did it once and I walked into a tree and I could hear my guides laughing. You know, maybe be more specific about what kind of sign you want. But they're there. You know, you have this energetic support, this team that is around you to support you, to help you move forward. And they love you. They love you so much, and they want to help you move forward. They want to help you with all of these things. Just don't be afraid to ask them. You know, you can never ask too much. They may not always be able to bring it to you. If it's not in your life path, if it doesn't serve your highest good, you know, those times they will not interrupt the learning. They won't take away a lesson for you. And often, you know, we used to joke, we used to ask all the time, Jennifer and I, you know, can we win the lottery? It doesn't work that way. You know, if it's not in your life path to win the lottery, they're not going to give it to you. But there's other things that you can ask for. You know, help me clear any blocks on abundance. You know, show me the next steps to move myself into a place of abundance. Just, you know, they can help you in the ways that serve you on your path, that help you to grow. If they make it too easy for you, then you're not going to get the work done. You're not going to work through things. That's what they would say to Jennifer and I. It's like, if you win the lottery, you won't do the work. And we would joke with them, you know, I could do this work lying on a beach. I could do this. And then I would just hear the guides kind of laughing, and they were like, no, you wouldn't. And it's true. I probably wouldn't have. So the need for financial security in a human lifetime drives us to do the work. We enjoy the work, we love doing it, but it has an incentive. There's something that will push us to do it that also revolves around lessons. Because so many things in your life are, what did you come here to learn? What are the things you came here to work on? And every part of your life pretty much will be leading you to something like that. These things that I talked about, that repeat, things that are familiar to you, and you're like, oh man, this keeps happening. Is it, you know, do you feel like people keep taking control for you? Do you feel like you're not safe? Do you feel like you're putting other people first? Do you feel like other people neglect you? Do you feel like you're not worthy? How do these things make you feel? You know, another big wound is judgment. Are you judging yourself? You know, people may be saying things to you that they mean as a compliment, but to you it feels like judgment. Do you get defensive? How do you react to that? You know, and that each of these wounds can play out in so many different ways in your life, so many different ways that they can come to you, but all to make you confront something that you otherwise would not have paid attention to. So when I stare off to the side, often they're talking to me, something is being said. Apparently this is the point, you know, recognizing that there are lessons, that there are purpose in all things, and to trust that things are in hand, that things are as they should be, that even when things feel uncomfortable, they have a purpose. How you respond to them, how you move through them, that's your choice. You know, as these lessons come up again each time, how you respond to them is your choice. Do you keep reacting in the same way, or do you choose a different path? How you grow, how fast you grow, it's all your choice. So part of what I'm going to do is bring information to you about how you can move forward on that path, how you can help yourself with these things. What are the tools that you can use? But I think what they're showing you is, don't discount times of discomfort and struggle and the lessons that they can bring, the change that they can bring. Just, you know, even if you can't see the learning now, you may see it in the future. You're going to understand it. If you can hear noise, I apologize. My house is older, and that's the sound of the heating coming on, the banging in the background. But through all of this, trust yourself. If something feels wrong to you, if something feels right to you, trust how that feels. Trust how you feel in other people's energy. Trust yourself. And when you can trust yourself, you get stronger. You know, if you're doubting yourself, you're pulling yourself back from things and diminishing yourself. And what is important is to reclaim your strength, to come back to who you truly are, to feel strong, to feel empowered. You know, it's coming back to who your soul truly is. Whatever your path in this lifetime, if you're interested in the things that I'm talking about, the things that relate to your energy, if you're listening to anybody else who's talking about these things, you're on this path. Your soul is ready to wake up, ready to be stronger. No, it's the calling back to who you were, to who you are, and just showing you steps to get you there. And them having me or somebody else talk about these things is speeding up your path. You know, it's giving you information it may have taken you longer to find on your own. It's giving you a fast track. It's giving you the opportunity to learn from somebody else's path. There's a feeling of excitement that as much as we may feel struggle right now, it's all leading us somewhere. It's leading us to somewhere we cannot see yet, but it's important. It brings change, and it's, you know, there's struggle now, but there's light to come. I think I'm going to leave it there. But let me know in the comments if there are parts of your path that you're struggling with, if there are things that would help you to move forward. Anything that I could talk about that you think would be helpful. You know, I can talk more about crystals, about crystal grids. I can talk more about how past lives impact you now, karmic debt, things that I see a lot in healings, things that can help us to better understand our energy now, understand how we can clear things, how we can release things, something else that can help you to move forward more quickly if you're unburdened by these things. So just let me know, because I would love for this to be a place where we can help each other, where we can bring about growth, help people, help all of us to come together. As I'm talking about these things, but I know this is helping me to grow, because it's a lot to put yourself out here and do this, but it feels right, and I push past that barrier. And then sharing things, and just each experience with this is different. It pushes you somewhere different. And I hope that for each of you, we're all on a path where people can move forward and they can grow. If you feel like you're overwhelmed right now, there are services on our website if you're feeling stuck. Jennifer and I do a spiritual journey consultation if you just want to ask us some questions. Jennifer does an Akashic records session, which can talk about your past lifetimes, which I think she pulls 4 past lifetimes. I do a healing with Metatron session, which is all about clearing trauma. We focus a lot on emotional trauma, emotional blocks. I do a soul deep clean. That's a fascinating session. It's, you know, what blocks do you have in your background? I will work on karmic debt, presets and conditioning, any contracts or agreements you may have from this lifetime or past ones. You know, there's a lot of things get cleared in those. So if you feel like you need something beyond what is getting talked about in the videos, check out our website and just see what we are working on. I'll put a couple of the links below as well so you can see the services I just talked about. But just know there's help out there right now. There's a lot of resources, whether it's us or somebody else, energy-wise, that can help you to move past things that are stuck for you. He said it's a really amplified time for healing, and everybody that's doing healing work is doing it differently, can access different things. You know, I'm an energy healer, but I go to a Reiki healer. She does shamanic work. She clears things that I can't reach, things I don't want to look at, things that I may not have been willing to confront on my own. And so there's a lot of value in that. I'm going to continue to post the short energy videos, do that. But yeah, again, if you feel like you need something more, feel free to reach out to Jennifer and I. We'll also do custom sessions if there's something very specific you want to address. So, yeah, thank you for listening. Thank you for being on this channel. I appreciate all of you being here. Sending love to everybody. Thank you.